Yo, what's up, gamers? Are you a gamer or are you an alpha gamer? A leader of the pack, a winner, someone with good gameplay based on input, natural gameplay. Guys, if you want to be an alpha gamer, make sure to hit the subscribe button and you're going to join the alpha gamers. You're going to join the WQ family. You're going to be a part of a revolution, a gameplay revolution. So make sure to hit the subscribe button to become an alpha gamer. Guys, what's up? WQ here. Guys, I've seen a lot of alpha gamer clones pop up lately. Boring people. They're coming out, they're saying, I'm the real alpha gamer, WQ. I know you're like dominating, you've got like big results, an awesome haircut, you know, you look real good. All these guys, they're all based on output. These guys don't have real gameplay. I've seen all this stuff, it's boring. But on the other side too, I've seen a lot of really good gamers come out and kind of look at my strategies and be like, you know what, this is a winning strategy. And so they're actually adopting a lot of my winning strategies, and then they're winning more. I mean, one guy, he's like, oh shit, I want to win. So he says, I'm gonna watch the WQ videos, instantly PBs twice. This guy's been plateaued in this game a year, instantly PBs twice. Like, I'm not joking, I'm not making this up, I'm not joking. It's real, this is real stuff. Real alpha gaming. You know, but the biggest gamer changer actually is in my own gameplay. And this is why I say you're gonna become a big league winner, because I can't tell you what happened. I can't tell you why. I don't know what happened. I'm playing like a monster. I'm playing Ascended, Super Saiyan, Blue X100. Something like that. Dark Super Saiyan X44. This is what I'm looking like. I'm like, every run I do is perfect. It's like a perfect run. I'm like, what's going on? For 2 months I complained. I got no good runs. I'm not playing good. Guys, I'm sorry. It's another bad day. No one believed me. Everyone thought that was my average. I can't remember the last time I had a bad run. Every single run I do is just like groundbreaking. And I don't know why. I think it's because of my new practice regimen, actually. About a month ago, about 3 weeks ago, I was saying, you know what, instead of just doing no reset runs because I don't reset, instead of just doing a bunch of no reset runs and practicing in between them, what I should be doing, start thinking naturally, do a run. It's a perfect reflection of my gameplay, that's great. Watch the run, and then look at what I'm doing wrong, why I'm doing it wrong, and practice it. And that's kind of a hassle because it turns one attempt into a 3-hour gamer session. And a lot of people don't want to do that because they are weak. They have weak consciences, you know, so they don't want to like do that. Speaking of weakness, let's talk about forfeiting in races. Like, who actually forfeits in a race? What's the point? I see people like, they join a race, they spend 20 minutes prepping for the race. They forfeit 10 minutes in. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Why do people forfeit in races? I don't know. I've never forfeited a race, guys. Why would I? So I do a run, I watch the run, and I'm not joking. I learned probably 100 things every single run I watched. Like if I'm gonna watch a run and I'm not gonna get anything out of it, I'm gonna stop doing it because it's a waste of my time. It was never once even remotely close to a waste of time. In fact, if you look at my master, and I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys this shit later because this is stupid. Look at my master sword runs, okay? I did 25 runs in September. I did 10, 12 runs a day, 15 runs a day. They're all terrible. I didn't even PB, I tied my PB, but I never actually PB. Really disappointing. And you know, but I'm doing all right, guys. That's what these like loser gamers, they always say. It's like, hey, you know, it's coming together, it's working out, I think I'm in the right direction, you know. Like, what are these guys saying? But yeah, I never did anything. Okay, now I'm really alpha gaming. This is in December. What I did 2 runs. 2 runs? I did 25 runs before I got nowhere. I'm doing 2 runs now. I do the first run, decent, D-rust run really. It was still pretty good, you know, just a D-rust run. What did I do? I spent the next 2 hours practicing and I actually watched the run. I watched the record, watched the practice, did a run, watched that run, practiced specifically the problems, specifically what I felt I needed to do better. Practiced for about 3 hours, did another run, instantly a PB, a 4-second PB. Wasn't a good run. The RNG of that run was not exceptional. It was maybe slightly better than average, below super good RNG. I mean, it was not exceptional in any standard. 4-second PB, and I actually lost like 5 seconds in my run to a mistake with a 3 cycle. Like, that's stupid good. Like, that's incredible. But yeah, it was 2 runs. Like, what the hell? That was easy. Cana Berna, another example. 5 runs and I got the record in it. Where back in 2015, it took me 15 runs and I got nowhere. Back in September, it took me 40 runs of Mirror Shield and I got a kind of sloppy PB. Back in September, it took me 30 runs of Master Sword, I got nowhere. Suddenly, I do 5 Cana Berna runs, and guess what I did between each Cana Berna run, guys? I did the run, I watched the run, I took notes on it. Simple notes, you know, anyone could do this. A 5th grader could do this. Did another run, boom, bam, amazing. Incredible runs, everyone got better. It's crazy, I don't know, it's really crazy. When you watch yourself play, here's the thing, and this is what I think helped me out so much, because every run I'm doing in January is a God run. And every run I've done since about July, I took a break from NMG, and I started doing other categories, and then I came back October, November, December. October, November, December were very bad months for me. And actually, October was a very, very good month. It was my most consistent month. But I was very try-hard in October. Realistically, I wasn't playing good. And November was worse, December was worse. January, every single run I'm doing is by far God tier. I'm completely destroying what I was doing before. And I think what happened is I was watching myself play, and it's not just simple mechanical stuff. It's not the 10 seconds in movement I realized I was making mistakes in. It's not all the tricks and strategies I realized I was doing wrong and I could do faster, and suddenly I'm saving 20 or 30 seconds on my whole run before. It's not even that. When you watch yourself play, you actually see yourself play. You see yourself and your brain starts firing. It starts firing off these subconscious cues on what you're doing wrong, what you could be doing better, what's not working, what is working. It's ridiculous. It actually takes a lot of effort. I'm not talking about watching a run with music and barely paying attention. This is what your general gamers do, and they don't improve, and they're like, I need the results. I'm not doing that, guys. What I'm doing is big league gaming here. Okay, big league alpha gaming. Watch the run, no music, pay attention to the whole goddamn thing. In 1x speed. These 2x speed gamers, get these guys out of here. Okay, get these clown gamers out of here. This is a 1x speed gameplay. This is what I'm doing, and it's a big deal. Because every single time, every single run I did, and watch, I did this for probably 30 runs, things in my brain started adding up, and they started clicking, and I didn't even know it. And I can't tell you. I can't tell you for sure, because I don't know why I'm playing so good. Is it the practice? I've been practicing a lot lately. Is that why I'm playing so good? Why was this never the case before? Is it the movement stuff? Is that why I'm playing so good? Is it the new strats? What exactly is it making me play so goddamn perfect everywhere? I don't know what's going on. Okay, so I got new strats and I got new movement. The thing is, both the new strats and movement, they're actually, a lot of that is a product of my gameplay. Guys, you know I'm bringing out big secrets right now. My gameplay got more natural. That's what I actually think happened when I was watching myself do all these runs. Because another thing is I watched a lot of other people's PBs, and I watched a lot of TASs, and I watched a lot of stuff. And when you watch that much stuff and actually think, and when you watch yourself play and then immediately rewatch it after, what happens is your brain starts making connections on all these little things like, maybe this is better, maybe I'm doing this wrong. And I think what happened is I actually leveled up my natural gameplay ability. I think my natural gameplay actually leveled up, which is really crazy to me. And I went into the realm of execution where before, see, this is what's crazy about natural gameplay. In natural gameplay, it's pretty simple on the surface, and the basic execution is really obvious. So let's say there's 2 different strategies. They're the exact same speed, but one's really complicated and one's really straightforward, right? So your normal loser gamers, beta gamers, these guys are always angry and they're always doing the wrong strategies, and they're like, no, I swear it's faster. You know, you see a lot of these guys, you know, it's everywhere, you know. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was like that once. Like, why do you think I'm here? Why do you think I'm here completely dominating, telling you guys how to win? Why do you think I'm here, right? I was not born like this. I had to go through the reins. I had to go through the process of losing countless times. I have more losses than any other speedrunner. Any other gamer, any other speedrunner, I actually have more losses than. The thing is, I was able to keep pushing forward and convert my losses. Big league. And now I'm dominating. But the thing is, you have these two different strategies. And one strategy is simple, super clean to execute. It's clean to execute, right? And the other strategy is super complicated. And actually, sometimes the other strategy, it's like maybe a frame faster. And so this is where these wiener gamers, they're like, oh no, this is better, I gotta do this. But it's just not natural, right? So the truth about being natural actually means it's faster. That's a tricky thing a lot of people don't, they like really struggle with. And this is where these beta gamers, they like really struggle with this concept that it's actually faster if it's more natural, right? That's actually a concept, that is a function, it's a function of speed. So I would 100% of the time go with the more natural strategy because it's actually faster. The unnatural strategy is slower. It doesn't matter if it's technically faster in like a task environment and like only one person was ever able to do it. Yeah, that's really a good strategy, guys. So no, stop doing that crap. But that's the basic simple version of it. I mean, like I think most people understand that just from a just from me saying it. Like I think you guys can get that. But I actually realized you could naturalize not just the strategies, but let's say you have the exact same strategy. Now we take that simple strategy, you can actually naturalize the execution on that strategy, right? So I think that's primarily what happened to me. That's why I'm executing big league. Like everything is going right in my executions. And I think like I started to realize, oh, I can actually naturalize my ability to execute. It's the same thing where it's like, oh, well, once you have the strategy, the whole thing's solved, right? Because it's the strategy that is, no, this is result-based thinking, right? The strategy, doing the strategy, there's the result. Okay, I'm gonna take your result and then I'm gonna redistribute that into input and then assume that it'll be happening the same every time. Yeah, then I'm gonna go into run, I'm gonna choke and I'm gonna lose and then make up some excuse like, oh, I'm cursed, or it's my personality. Maybe I just got unlucky. I don't know, you know, people make up all these dumb excuses. If you're wondering, can I apply this to real life? Can I really change my real life? Of course, guys, come on. What do you think losing is? What do you think choking and losing is? It's the same in real life. You make a wrong decision. I mean, it's actually even more important to do this in real life. A lot of people coming up to me and they're saying, can you apply this to real life? Or I made my own theory and I applied it to real life, which I'm like, all right, that's fine, that's great. Of course you can apply it to real life. In fact, if you actually understand natural gameplay, you have to apply it to real life. Because natural gameplay actually changes your belief system, which guarantees a change in your decision-making process. So you'd actually have to change it. You'd have to change your life, which is why I tell you it's going to change your life, because it does. You're going to become a winner, easy. No effort. And in fact, everybody could become a winner. And actually, you know what? Everybody can become a winner. The biggest losers in the world, this is what they'll do. The biggest losers in the world, they'll get big enough to have authority. They won't get so big that they'll start God winning, you know, like creating infrastructure. That's what the biggest winners do. But they'll get good enough that they have authority. And then they'll use that authority to make a claim and then back up the claim and then use a simple argument and be like, not everybody can succeed. That's what they'll say. Not everybody can succeed, you know. If everybody was succeeding, nobody would be succeeding, right? Because success is relative. This is what the biggest losers will do. And they'll intentionally get authority so that they can maintain this lie, because it actually prevents them from succeeding more. It prevents them from going further. It's their excuse they've created. This is real. It's not true though, because I'm sure there's people in the past who said, not everybody can be fed. World peace can't be achieved. Not everybody's gonna be able to be online. Not everybody can have a car, guys. Not everybody can have a smartphone, right? No, as time goes on and on and on, living conditions globally across the board go up. I mean, you hear these liberals complain about, you know, all these terrible things in America. America must be, how can you live in America? If you read like liberal Twitter or like go to those websites, these like liberal Washington Post, CNN, it seems like it's impossible to live in America. It's a hellhole. It's the worst place in the world to live. Like who could live in this country? No, it's all made up. It's way better than it was 100,000 years ago, right? It's gradually going up, and actually pretty fast, and it's pretty damn good. So, you know, these things actually are possible. And in fact, I'm going to get even deeper. Look at a gameplay situation, right? Back in the day, there was one person with a 129, it was a big deal. Now there's like 80 people with a 129, and honestly, you see people get 129 in like 2 weeks. Like there's some people literally in 2 weeks from never playing the game, they'll get a 129. It's not that big of a deal. Same deal right now. Why can't everybody have a 129? Why can't everybody have a 123? I can guarantee you there's gonna be multiple 123s by the end of the year. In fact, I can guarantee you at some point in history there's gonna be multiple 122s. My goal is for there to be 20 123s in Link of the Past by the end of, I want to say this year, but I might be able to do it next year. How about next year? By the end of 2019, I want there to be 20 123s in Link of the Past. Completely doable, completely possible. It's not hard. It's not actually hard to get 123. It's a completely doable thing. So, point is, everybody can succeed, and it's going to come down to big league winning. Completely forgot what I was talking about. I ran into a girl, cute girl. We were in high school. Now we're dating. So, who cares? We're going to move on. We're going to move on to bigger things. But yeah, my natural gameplay is even more natural, and it's the execution. That's really what it's coming down to. It's the execution. Guys, I can't forget what I'm saying. I tried to forget, like, come on, I'm not going to be able to forget the real ideas I talk about. Why are my vlogs so good? Why is my content so good? Why are my ideas so good? Because I can't forget about them. Because I've naturalized my ideas. I actually believe in my ideas, so of course I cannot forget my ideas. Let's talk about execution. So my ability to execute is actually, I'm understanding deeper on a deeper level how to naturalize execution. You have the same strategy. It's the same simple, clean strategy. There's actually different ways to do this strategy. And actually, it's even cooler than strategies because you have probably 2 strategies for a simple thing, up to 5, up to 8 strategies maximum. It depends on your game. But yes, you have a limited, like ledge dashing in Melee. I love this example. It's really good. Very important technique, very, very punishing, very big deal. And people say ledge dashing is too powerful. Throw these guys into the beta gamer zone. They don't know what they're talking about. Every single ledge dash, you have the option of dying. It's not too powerful. So here's the thing with ledge dashing. There's like 3 or 4 different ways to do it though. And there's 3 or 4 main strategies. Like you can press down in ledge dash, you can press right or back in ledge dash. You can try to do the late, slow meme ledge dash. There's a lot of different ways to ledge dash. That's great. So people will say this is the best one and they'll isolate that strategy, right? There's actually an infinite number of ways to execute it. Well, generally I wouldn't say there's an infinite number, but there's a number that can go very deep because this is the point about natural gameplay. It optimizes complex system. It actually optimizes a complex system. So when you have you have multiple things you can do and there's no clear winner, that's a complex system, right? But there is a winner. And it's not just me, guys. There is a winner. You have to figure out. That's what your gameplay is coming down to. It's figuring out which one is the best way to do this, right? But it's complex. You can't figure it out. Well, once you naturalize it, and this is why natural gameplay works. Well, how can you optimize a complex system? I mean, I don't understand how would natural gameplay optimize a complex system. Of course, it would optimize a complex system. Natural gameplay uses beliefs, and your behaviors are directed by beliefs. So if you do something, it means you believed in it, right? Which means you're bound to do it again based on, not the result, but based on your understanding, your input. That's a big deal, right? So natural gameplay, it uses that, and actually what it does is it'll then find the most efficient, the best method of doing something, the best option of this complex system, where you get these noobs who decide that, okay, I can optimize the complex system because this strategy is a frame faster, because this strategy is better. It's not optimized at all. And then what happens is they choke, they lose, they fail. Or here's another really good one. They don't exceed more. They don't exceed more. They kind of plateau, or they get good enough, right? And every single one of these, there's a common theme here. What are they doing? Oh yeah, right. That's right. They're using results to measure their ego, and then they're actually they're claiming they're really good based on these results every time. And that's always a trap, because no matter how much you do something, you're happy. You're like, I succeeded. I finally succeeded. I'm really happy with myself. Well, wait a minute. What if you had done more? It's not that big of a deal. Like, you could do more, right? Because it's the happiness. It's your ego. It's actually not the happiness at all. It's your ego that limits that growth. It's not happiness, and you know why I say it's not happiness? Because it's sadness, and then it's a mask, it's a facade of happiness. But it's sadness that creates this, and then that's what when you have the sadness, that's why people don't go forward. That's why they don't push more. That's where the sadness is, and it's not happiness at all, right? So, but they have this facade of happiness. This is why it's ego, and then they don't improve, but they look good. They always look good. It's like, well, I had the record in 2003, guys. I'm sure I can get it again. You know, oh, I was good enough back then. Oh, I just choked. Oh, I PB every time I play. I play once every 6 months. Oh, well, of course, if you mean you don't play the game, you don't care, right? Well, this is why I'm saying it's sadness. This is why, and honestly, guys, the truth of it, a lot of my haters, they're hyper jealous of me. But more importantly, they're just really depressed people. They're really depressed, they're really upset, they're really sad. And it's like, I don't really want to trash talk these guys 24/7 because, yeah, it's fun and they hate me. And I love trash talking people that hate me because it's never a hard thing to do. Like, I've never actually met someone that's constantly hating on me. There's a lot of these people that has any merit, has any like reward, is good at anything. Like, they're obviously just jealous. But it's getting harder and harder because I'm really starting to realize, like, these guys they're struggling, they're sad, they need help. These people need help. They need help. They just straight up need help, and it's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm good at a lot of things, guys. I'm extremely good at helping people. I'm extraordinarily good at helping people, so I'll do that. I can do that, you know, not hard. But let's go back to using results. So I've actually figured out recently how to get better execution, because what's happening is I'm actually naturalizing my execution. And guys, big deal here, pause the video, timestamp this video, share this video with your friends and use this timestamp. This is a big deal. And actually, guys, if you share my videos with a timestamp, it's good. It's really good, because what's gonna happen is they're gonna watch that and then go back to the beginning. Increases the watch time. So share this video right now. Gameplay, competition. Gameplay is a factor. Competition is basically gameplay. The winner, it actually comes down to whose gameplay is more natural, entirely. That's the trick. It's entirely comes down to that. It doesn't come down to that because everything else comes first and then that comes. No. It's entirely a product of that. There is nothing else. It's entirely that. So guys, if you start learning and start playing and start gameplaying, and let's say you learn a million things, and most of it, like 99% of them are anatural, as in not natural. What's going to happen is you are going to probably not be so good at the game, right? And then you take a relative gamer, and he learns a million things also, and 50% of them are natural, right? So what's going to happen? You're never going to win. You're going to play him, and you're going to lose 1,000 times in a row, right? You'll literally never win. And that's a big deal, and that matters a lot. And it's not just that. Because you actually see that. It sounds like, well, that's a crazy scenario. That'll never happen, or that doesn't happen. That's not true. You're actually lying to yourself. Because it happens all the time. I played League for like 4 years. And I saw people who played the game, and the first 3 months they weren't very good at it. They broke through a plateau, and then they got diamond. A few months, not a big deal, right? I saw other people that played the game for 2 or 3 years, and they were silver 5. It's like, what are these guys doing? Well, guess what's happening? The silver 5 guy is learning as much as his peer, but he's not learning anything natural. He's learning meme stuff, he's learning anatural stuff, he's wasting his time. He's like, I just want to have fun. I don't want to get good at the game, guys, I just want to have fun. That's actually a lie. That's a lie, and even if it's somehow true, you would still pursue what you think is best, because you're programmed to pursue what you think is best. So what's going to happen is you're just bad at the game. It just means you're bad at the game and you have no idea how to play it. So this whole lie that I'm not trying to get good at the game, no, you're just bad at the game. Because guess what? The other guy is also not technically trying to get good at the game. He's just pursuing what he thinks is best. He understands it much more. Well, what does he understand more? He understands the natural elements of the game, right? He understands how to naturalize his gameplay more in the game, and so he's learning the correct stuff. He's learning clean, clear, smooth stuff. More importantly, he's learning what works and doesn't work. He's learning what works and doesn't work, which is natural. What's clean, what's easy to execute, what can I do, what can't I do, your limits. People say you learn your limits. Okay, learning your limits is an effect. You can't learn your limits and then problem solve. You have to learn how to play the game, and then by effect you learn your limits, so problem solve. So another sports psychologist, thrown in the trash, right? Because these guys no clue what they're talking about. So let's look at another example. Like, let's look at Melee. Melee, it's a directly competitive. I think Melee is like the best competitive game there is. It's the best representation of competition there is in video games. And Why is Melee so good at this? Because it's so freeform, but also it's a direct head-to-head competition. Speedrunning, not really as competitive, specifically because it's not direct. Now, I think the players are as competitive, and actually I think potentially they're more competitive. Primarily because I'm speedrunning. League of Legends, okay, it's a multiplayer, but it's not direct head-to-head competition. So Melee is the best representation of competition. Now, you have 2 players, similar skill levels. I'm sure you guys could point out several examples. In fact, if you look at pretty much most Melee players, there's these pockets of players with similar skill levels. They're a perfect example. Whoever wins, ultimately, and this is interesting, ultimately whoever wins, actually, it entirely comes down to gameplay. A lot of people think mentality matters. Why don't I like mentality? It's because mentality is always output-based thinking, and then what happens is it's anatural and you start losing. And mentality is useless. It always comes down to gameplay, so that's important, but that's kind of meaningless because you can't do anything with that. Like, okay, well, it comes down to gameplay, so I guess it's time to learn the game. Well, I was doing that anyway. So of course, who cares? But natural gameplay is actually different because natural gameplay is a optimization of gameplay, and it's a narrow, it narrows gameplay down. So you have 10 different options. One of them is clearly the favorite. If you're not thinking naturally, they're all equivalent. And actually, what's going to happen if you're not thinking naturally is you're going to start looking at top players, and you're going to be like, well, these top players really aren't that good. These guys aren't good at all. Like, I could do that. They're going to tell themselves I could do that. But these guys aren't thinking naturally. And you actually will hear noobs say that all the time, which to me is like, how a noob could ever say that or even conceptualize that thought, to me is just like completely absurd. But I don't, like, people actually think that. Well, they think that because those people are thinking so unnaturally that they cannot distinguish gameplay. They cannot think about decisions, and they cannot distinguish gameplay at all. So that's why they come up with these like ridiculous ideas. But yeah, if you start thinking naturally, you can look at top players and be like, oh, that's why he did this. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's why he favors this strategy. Oh, okay, that's why he's winning. In fact, you'll say, I already know why he's winning. Show me the gameplay. I already know why he's winning. And you're like, yeah, it confirms all my suspicions. Completely confirms my suspicions. I'd love to compete with him. It'd be fun. That's how I'm thinking. So let's say you take your 2 players and they're similar skill level. Yeah, whoever is winning, it actually functionally comes down to whoever's gameplay is more natural. And I say functionally, don't take that lightly. I really do actually mean gameplay entirely comes down to whose gameplay is more natural, because what natural means is that you can actually execute it. So it's actually happening in real time. It's actually happening in real life. So yes, it functionally comes down to whose gameplay is more natural. If you look at the results, it's 100%. Or it's so close to 100%, it's basically 100%. It's functionally 100%, right? So don't take that word out of context. Don't think that you can skate by and not naturalize your gameplay and win. And actually, this is another thing. People say, well, you know, WQ, you're just one god level runner, god level gamer. Yeah, I mean, you're basically a beast at like everything you do. But I mean, other people are winning too, right? Why can't I do what they're doing? Yeah, that's fine. Do whatever they're doing. The thing is, what they're doing is actually naturalizing their gameplay. They're doing it subconsciously, or sometimes they're doing it consciously. Or what they'll do is they'll learn what works. They'll be like, okay, this works, and they'll do it. Well, that's naturalizing your gameplay. What I did is I took that and then I distributed it to everything, right? I generalized the idea, and then I took that generalization and I remapped it to everything. I remapped it to decisions. Anybody could do this, and in fact, yes, natural gameplay. I did coin the theory. And alpha gamers, guys, why are you an alpha gamer? You watching this video? You subscribe to my channel? Where are you an alpha gamer? Because I'm teaching you guys how to win, and I'm actually primarily teaching you guys how to not use results to determine your input. In fact, use input to determine your input, which is how the world naturally works. And so what's going to happen is you're going to be in line with the world. If you use a result to determine your input, you're still using input to determine input, but you get a convoluted output, right? And it gives you a very bad result. It gives you a corrupt result, and that's where choking is a response to that. So that's why I'm teaching you guys to determine input through input, which is going to give you a non-convoluted, non-corrupt result, which not necessarily going to win. Cannot gimmick a victory here, and I'm not trying to gimmick a victory. Beta gamers will think I'm trying to gimmick a victory, and they think that because I'm not trying to gimmick a victory, that I'm doing something wrong. No, you cannot gimmick a victory. It always comes down to gameplay. But that's fine. I'm not gimmicking a victory. What I'm doing is getting closer to the 0.500 line. The 0.500 line is the pinnacle of gameplay. It is when it truly comes down to gameplay, or it truly comes down to a coin flip, which is exactly what you want. That's the pinnacle of gameplay, right? Because that means there's no mistakes. There's no human error. It completely comes down to gameplay. The thing is, it already completely comes down to gameplay. So you're trying to get your gameplay to match that. Now that line, the 0.500 line, it's scary if you're terrible at everything, because you might think that, oh, well, I can lose 50% of the time. I mean, a coin flip, you lose 50% of the time. That's scary, right? Like, you wouldn't want to do that. So therefore, it's a bad idea. Therefore, I need to gimmick my victory, because if I can gimmick my victory, I can guarantee a victory, right? This is what I'm talking about. That's output-based thinking. No, that doesn't work. You can't do that. You're stuck within the natural continuum. You're stuck within input into output, right? You cannot control the output. You have to control. You can only do the input. So by trying to gimmick the victory, you're probably at the 0.01 line, right? You get, or 0.1 line. Like, the best gamers will get to like the 0.1 or the 0.3 line. Get to the 0.5 line. Like, anybody can do it. You could have the worst gameplay in the world. If you get to the 0.5 line, you're going to play at the top level in anything you do, because most people around you are much worse. So that's why it is called, these people that like are completely dominant, people that are completely dominant and they destroy everything and they're like geniuses at a young age and they're completely dominant, they're not actually that good at what they're doing. They're just naturalizing the gameplay so much that they actually get they get a reflection, they get a result that's much closer to a reflection of gameplay than what most people do. So most people do, they create this corrupt gameplay and then they get a reflection, or they get a result that's not close to actual gameplay at all. It's very, very, very far away. And then they'll create a clique, a similar people, and so that they all have the same bad gameplay, and then they'll use that as a determination of who's good and bad, instead of actually using the gameplay as a determination, because you can't go past the 0.5 line. Actually, I've always wondered about this. Can you go past the 0.5 line? And I guess you can. I'm thinking you can, because it's always you'd always have to put in the gameplay system, right? So basically, if your gameplay was like a 0.4, which is very good, I would say, like top level of humanity, what would happen is you would put that to the system of gameplay, and then you get out like a number back. So you probably get like a 0.42, 0.401. It depends how you see it. So if you were actually at that line and you got very lucky, you would actually you would bounce like up and down between the 0.5 line. So that is, I think that's more closer to how it works, but it's kind of hard concept to understand initially, but you guys will get there. So most people in these cliques, these little genetic cliques, so they're all really bad. And actually at a higher level, they're not even cliques anymore. They're like a hive mind of cliques. It's functionally a clique, but it's like a region, you know, it's like regions, and they're like, oh, this guy's really good. He's the best in our region, right? And then they use that as a reason to not improve. And then why do you think I'm so critical of melee players and mentality? It's because it sounds like melee players, right? Yeah, it sounds like melee players. Because what they do is they try to get better than their friend. They intentionally get second place to lose because they'll look good. And then their region never improves. Like, the whole region was doing that, and then the entire region plateaus. Except for the first place guy, usually, because his gameplay is a little bit more natural. Or more importantly, he thinks more naturally, right? So he can improve more. And then you get all those people, and then they compete across each other. Now, this is really interesting, and I think I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Thanks for watching my video. This has been a really good vlog. Those people, those top players, when they all compete with each other, most of them lose, right? Only one guy can win. Most of those people, what are they doing wrong? What are those players doing wrong? They're not creating infrastructure. They're actually not creating infrastructure, because creating infrastructure is a natural way to improve the entire player base. If you improve the player base and you're actually good, you'll improve yourself too, right? That's the 0.500 line. That's the risk that you have to accept. And that's what most of these top players from regions, they go to these large tournaments and they don't do this. And then they realize, and they don't realize, I guess they don't realize it because they don't do it when they get home, and then they never succeed, they never improve, they never succeed, and their region doesn't succeed, or they'll lose, kind of, you know. And I think this is interesting because this is actually what Ken did. What did Ken do when he went to NorCal? And I think he won that tournament, so he was very good from the start. But he went to NorCal, and there was like way more players up there. It's a much bigger region. When he went home, what did he do? He created infrastructure. He created a bi-weekly at his house. He created a scene. And what did that scene do? It made him better. If Ken really was not as good as Ken was, and he created infrastructure, what would have happened? Somebody would have got better than him. And actually Mango sort of did that, but I don't think Mango actually ever beat Ken in bracket, or he did, but basically Ken left, right? So, but it doesn't really matter, but that's the risk you take, and it's not actually a risk, because if you're worse than them, they're always gonna be worse than them. If you're better than them, you're gonna be better than them, right? Anyway guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching my video. Keep this in mind, my practice regimen is very good. And I would highly recommend, if you guys are plateaued, if you wanna improve, like look at this, if you wanna improve at the game, watch your VODs and actually make an effort watching them, right? I can guarantee you'll improve. I can guarantee it. If you want to try something out, do it. You'll improve. It'll be a lot of fun. It's fun to watch yourself. If you're plateaued and you're struggling like I was for so many years, this will unplateau you. And it's going to scale with how much effort you make. But this will unplateau you. It will fix your gameplay. It's a big deal. It's a completely huge deal. And actually, natural gameplay will unplateau you 1,000 times more. So do natural gameplay also. But anyway guys, I'll see you later. Natural gameplay has completely changed my life. And I'm making certain that it's gonna change your life as well. It's gonna completely change your life, completely change your gameplay. And I've already seen tons of winners around me sprout up, and old winners that are like, hey, you know, this guy's right. Let's start winning. So start winning today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and become an alpha gamer. You'll join the WQ family, you'll become an alpha gamer. Subscribe to my channel, I'll see you guys later.